Chrissy, thanks for meeting with me here today. So you are the head coach at Ball State University, right?
Yes.
Okay, for the women's basketball team.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and so I got your letter about the issue with the shoes. So what were your concerns about them? Just again, let's cover them.
So the soles were cracking and broken. It's causing a lot of problems for my players' feet. They weren't able to jump as well. They weren't able to run. They weren't performing well because their feet were hurting too bad after practice because of the broken soles. That was my main concern with the shoes.
Okay, and you mentioned that you were considering going to our competitor if we couldn't fix this issue. When do you need the next set of shoes by?
Hopefully by the end of the month.
Okay.
It's the sooner the better, but our season is starting soon, and we need those shoes as soon as possible so we can get going.
Okay, so I have a few just thoughts, and I want you to tell me if this will work for you. So first off, I'm offering to replace, if you stick with us, to replace all the shoes for the remainder of the season. I know you have a couple games left. So we'll replace all of the current shoes at no cost, since that was our fault. That way you still feel safe and comfortable being with our company, knowing that that will help you out if anything does happen in the future. Hopefully that it doesn't. In addition to this, how does 25% off sound for the entire order for the shoes for next season?
25% off for next season's shoes.
Yes. So we'll replace the shoes for this season, the current shoes that you have, so that you're not just out of luck for that, and then we'll give you 25% off your order. Will you be ordering the whole team new shoes for next season?
Yes, so we will be ordering the whole team new shoes as well as some backup players.
Okay, so we give you 25% off for the entire teams, that whole order for next season. And then also, we could talk about how often you want to do this, but I was thinking quarterly checks on the shoes, just to make sure that way nothing happens during a game. So we do quality control. I just send a sales rep, or if they're not available, I'll come do it myself. And how does quarterly sound?
Quarterly sounds great unless there's a problem.
Okay.
Would I be able to contact you sometime if something happens during one of our games?
Yes. Yeah. And the hope is that if we do those quarterly quality checks on the shoes, that we can look for wear and tear, check the inserts, check the laces, make sure that the soles aren't too worn down that we think that they would start ripping or anything like that. And that way too, that if we're doing those checks and something still does rip, we'll know that it's entirely on us and that it wasn't, a player didn't say something. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Along with this, we will do new laces and inserts as needed. So at those checks, if the inserts are too worn down or they are in need of new laces, then we will replace them for free at those quarterly checks. How often do they need those new replacements? Do you think that they would need them more than quarterly?
Some of my players might need them more than quarterly. For the most part, they're all pretty good, but some of them do practice more and a lot harder than the rest, just some of our star players, so they might need them more often.
Okay.
But quarterly should work for the rest of our players.
Okay. So what we'll just do then is at those quarterly checks, I'll have my sales rep come with new laces and inserts. We'll have a few different kinds of inserts to accommodate for different players and their feet, and then we will replace any that need replacing, and then you can keep in contact, and I'll be keeping in contact with you, giving you phone calls, sending emails, and if there are any more needed in that time, we can send them over. And then lastly, we could is there a need for practice shoes? Do your players usually, are you strict about that they all wear the same type of practice shoes?
Yes.
Okay, and do you want them to be the same as their performance shoes that they wear at games?
As close as possible would be nice.
Okay. So we can do 25% off, like I mentioned, for the performance shoes for the next season. And then next season as well, we could do 15% off for practice shoes, and we'll also give your players 15% off if they want anything else from from the Sports Shoe Corporation. So for any recreational use or outside of the team, do you think that would be beneficial?
Yes.
Okay.
How do I know that the next sale that I get or the next product that I get isn't going to have the same issue as these last ones?
We will have our sales rep and our quality. We have specific sales reps that are over quality check. We will have them look over the shoes, and we will also ensure that like they're going to be quarterly checked. I will even look over the shoes myself, and we can have you look over them. We can also have you in for a personal consultation with your assistant coach to look over the different types of shoes we have, and maybe you could look into a different kind. And we're definitely having somebody look at the old shoes. If we can, once we replace the new shoes, if we could get those old ones so that we can have somebody look over them and figure out what the issue is so we don't run into that again.
I think that would be very beneficial.
Okay.
If there's any other, if I find something that's wrong with like one of the shoes when the shoes gets skipped, would I be able to send it back to you with no cost?
Yes, we'll make sure that there's no charge for that, so the same issue doesn't happen again.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, thanks so much for meeting with me.
Thank you.